A few minutes' loss of business is not going to bankrupt you, is it, Father? Besides, there's a lot to be said for an afternoon siesta.
All right, what do you want? That'd be all way to come calling.
I have a terrible headache. I'm in dire need of some of your infamous coffee and a couple of those pain-killing escape pills you dispense.
If you mean tranquilizers, you need a prescription.
I do? I have a family connection with the druggist, so I've been told.
I'll get you some aspirin.
Well, today you give me headache pills. It was a lot stronger stuff when I was a boy, Father. You siphoned all sorts of information into me. I became sort of a homegrown little robot of yours. Something of a computer. But nowadays they feed only facts into their mechanical creatures. You were always a specialist in fantasy. You hooked me together and stuffed me with lies.
You're talking a lot of nonsense.
Oh, was it nonsense to wonder if I bore false witness against Elliott Carson?
I tell you didn't.
You tell me. You tell me, but I was the one that was in that house that night, not you.
It was Elliott Carson killed your sister. It was Elliott Carson you heard arguing with her.
Was that the truth, or is that another of the prescriptions you concoct in your little room here?
The jury convicted Elliott Carson.
Yes. Yes, they did, on my evidence. And left me to thrash and turn in the night. How about you these days, Father? Are you a sound sleeper? Or do you hear the voices?
Voices?
I hear them.
What voices?
A man and a woman.
Oh.
No, I am not hallucinating. I hear the same voices over and over, and you know who they are. Elizabeth.
Paul.
Elizabeth and Elliott Carson.
Yes.
You're quite certain?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because...
How do you know? I'm talking about the voices I hear. Now, how can you hear them? Elizabeth and Elliott Carson. I always thought so, Father. All these years, I thought so. But I've been talking with Carson lately.
Oh, well, voices change.
You're anticipating me. How could you know that Elliott Carson doesn't sound like the man I hear? Help me, Father. Tell me who it is I hear. Who is it?
You didn't lie, Paul. You told the truth in the witness stand. The man you heard quarreling with his sister was Elliott Carson. Had to be him.
Why?
Got to unlock.
Yes, Father, you've got to unlock. Sooner or later. Oh, Ruth.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Rossi.
Good morning, Ruth. Mrs. Kramer's been having some more trouble with her shoulder. I want you to take her down and give her some heat therapy.
The new contraption?
The new contraption. Do you like it?
That's fancy enough.
You don't like it?
Well, I wouldn't say that, Doctor, but... Well, I wish you'd tell me what is the difference between that machine and a good old-fashioned mustard plaster.
Several $1,000 for one thing.
Progress.
Progress.
Well, I wouldn't want to stop progress, Doctor.
Dr. Rossi. Oh, good morning.
When do you think I'll be able to take my father home?
By the end of the week, I imagine.
Good.
There's one thing you may want to think about, though. Your father shouldn't stay in this climate. You see, the winter may put too much of a strain on his heart.
I see. Well, that's kind of a tough one.
I realize it may be difficult for you, but he should be milder climate, and the sooner the better.
Well, he has a cousin in Florida.
Well, that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Provided I can get in touch with him. If I can't, I don't know what I'll be able to do.
Are there any other relatives?
No, I'm fresh out. Except for the ones on the French Riviera, of course, but then that's too far for Dad to travel.
Can we be serious about this?
I am serious. I've got no money. That tends to make a man very serious, especially when he needs it. You probably wouldn't understand that, Doctor.
You think I was born with some kind of a silver spoon in my mouth?
I didn't say that.
Well, you said something. What is it? You're beginning to pity yourself?
Is that your diagnosis, Doctor?
Is it right?
Well, I'll give you the symptoms. You make up your own mind. I'm beginning to envy anyone with a career, income. Anyone who could do what he wants and go where he pleases.
And see whomever he pleases.
That's right, Doctor. See whomever he wants, whenever he wants.
If whoever wants to see him.
That's right.
But you said you could swing it. I don't want Rodney to have to wait for a divorce. I want an annulment. The girl will do anything I say. Because I know she will. Ted, if you can't handle this... That's more like it. Give my regards to Louise. Yes?
Mr. Swain's here to see you.
Have him come in. Hello, Matt. It's good to see you.
Leslie, I got this notice this morning of your petition to contest Catherine's will. I find it hard to believe.
I don't see why. As one of the executors of a will, surely you can understand my feeling about that codicil. I want it proved invalid.
You mean you're going to drag Catherine's name through the courts? To question her sanity?
It needn't be that ugly unless her father chooses to make it so.
Martin Peyton's a sick man.
Exactly, a sick old man who's apt to die any moment. Why should the stock revert to him?
Because it was Catherine's final wish.
Her malice. Matt, I have every right to this mill, legally and morally. You're my friend. You've watched me build this business for 25 years.
And I watched you destroy, too.
Catherine?
Yourself.
That's a matter of opinion, isn't it? I've had hungers, too, Matt.
And you've satisfied them?
You better keep this.
And what about the boys?
Rodney and Norman aren't involved.
The boys have always been involved.
Yes.
Mr. Wainwright is here.
Oh?
Shall I ask him to wait?
No, have him come in. Wainwright and Kennerly, Martin Payton's law firm.
We can continue this at another time. I think you're going to regret what you started. Mr. Harrington.
Yes, good morning. Matthew Swain.
How do you do? Goodbye, Leslie.
Well, this is a surprise visit, Mr. Wainwright.
It was intended to surprise you. As was this.
What is it?
A letter sent by your wife to her father, Martin Peyton. It was written several months before her death. As you can see, it explains exactly why Mrs. Harrington added the codicil to her will. She questioned your relationship with your secretary, Julie Anderson.
What? Oh, come now.
Your wife had few remaining illusions, Mr. Harrington. She refers to your unfaithfulness as far back as 18 years ago. At that time, the woman was named Elizabeth Carson?
This is ridiculous.
Nevertheless, it does explain her motive for the codicil. She was a woman disappointed in her husband. Until now, Mr. Peyton had no wish to divulge the contents of this letter. He felt it would only create scandal, which would harm both his daughter's memory and the family name. However, if you persist in fighting this codicil, if you persevere in your attempts to disprove your wife's sanity, then this letter will be introduced in open court. The decision is yours, Mr. Harrington.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Connie, have birthday dinner again with me tonight.
I'm sorry, Elliott. I have to say no.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to testify that she wasn't really herself.
If you do this to my mom's memory, I could see you out begging with a tin cup and it wouldn't bother me one bit.
Go ahead, take them. You deserve them, just like you did the money he gave you in New York.
Money who gave me?
The man you met.